Okay. Yeah. So my name is Jordan Jacobson, and this is my presentation, Free from Fear, Effective Mood in Horror Game Live Stream Communities. What I'll be looking at specifically is how these digital spaces formulate an effective mood that encapsulates this community of horror game enthusiasts. From the streamers who create this mood through play, production, and gardening community to the participatory viewers who tune in and inhabit this mediated space. So, this community of streamers foster like I said, an active participatory space as they play through single player series like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, or multiplayer games like Dead by Daylight. These horror based communities engage with transgressive approaches to gaming, such as showcasing community created mods that expand on the narrative and gameplay experiences. Additionally, they dedicate time to streaming accessible casual playthroughs of AAA titles and indie releases. One specific variety horror streamer showed here in the background of this graphic is Lucas Thompson, known as Bach Soup. He creates and streams marathon days where he plays through multiple horror titles in speedrun fashion, which produces a mood that is highlighted by the various formal qualities of the games. So, T.L. Taylor in their book, Watch Me Play, Twitch and the Rise of Game Live Streaming, obviously a foundational piece, describes this effective interaction with the digital space, citing theorist Sarah Mead explaining this engagement. Oh, let me back there for a sec. This engagement is critical to understanding the space. Emotions do things, they align individuals with communities or bodily space with social space through the very intensity of their attachments. So, kind of building off that, as the streamers and the viewers immerse themselves within the gameplays of the horror experience, there is an engrossing, almost contradictory, effective power to this digital place. Okay, so pictured here is one of the save rooms from Resident Evil 1 Remake from 2002. Gameplay wise, these tranquil places are places you can like save your progress, change out your items, experience a moment of relief before you collect your courage to journey forward. So through this work, I'd like to propose the save room as a metaphor for the mediated spaces of the live stream communities. They're comfortable digital spaces where you can escape the horrors of the world surrounding you. So, horror game live streamers like Bakba Soup, Lucas Thompson, and streamer Room B create an effective digital place that formulates a mood through the aesthetic features of the game production. So, think of aesthetics like intro visuals, selected music, etc. So this effective mood extends into a state of comfortable attunement between the viewers and the streamer, aligned with the element of the uncanny, which is, of course, a common experience in horror media. So within these effective digital places, these communities form a connection of embodiment and identification between the streamer and viewer as a ramification of this attunement. So, kind of to tackle a little bit of the theoretical foundation for this analysis, I'll be incorporating Martin Heidegger's conceptualization of Stimmung and Einstimmung to understand these mediated safe rooms. Heidegger's interpretation of mood, acts as an intersection between two states, and it serves as a visualization of the shared medium that connects the viewers and the streamer. So, more specifically, this metaphor of the safe room can be investigated through this concept of Einstimmung. From English to German, Einstimmung is translated to the word attunement. So attunement suggests then a relationship between the aesthetics or mood of the text and the effective response of the viewer. Also, kind of an important, just a little important terminology note, I'll be incorporating the idea of game place instead of game space. This is a key distinction that draws upon the meaning that's attached to place versus space in terms of geography. So this digital effective place of these horror Twitch streams communities is shaped by the meaning by both attuned parties that inhabit this comfortable digital space. So to kind of move on to some of the examples of streamers that I chose for this project, one streamer in this horror community that illustrates this kind of effective power is the Capcom creator and horror variety streamer Room B. Oh, just keeps bouncing off here for me. Um, Her streams are primarily focused on horror and RPGs and action, all the while kind of featuring her little dog named Oliver, which is certainly an effective element of her streams. So another important part of Room B's streams is the formulation of the digital place through the aesthetics of production. Taylor describes this aspect of Twitch streaming. Um, while the game itself makes up a portion of the viewer's screen, accomplished streamers often use complex sets, involving additional audio, graphical overlays, green screening, cameras, triggered events, chatbots, custom emoticons to specific channels, etc. So, one of the ways in which Roomba crafts this mood in her in her streams is the curation of horror game music. Her produced streams incorporate ambient tracks that score the various safe rooms from titles like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and more contemporary like Tormented Souls is another indie title. So these places invoke moments of calm where the players can be sheltered from the uncanny spaces of the game. The spatial calm is another atmospheric element of these effective digital places. So through these effective incorporation of these ambient tracks, Roombe's production aesthetics elicit a similar affect to the safe rooms of the survival horror games. I went ahead and made a little playlist that curated a few of these tracks. So I'll go ahead and share that later in the Discord if anyone's interested in checking those out. So yeah, to kind of move forward, in addition to her production of her Twitch stream, she also engages in a performative play that is transgressive and in a comedic way. She's paired up with Lucas Thompson, who I've mentioned earlier, to play through cooperative streaming experiences of Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6. Their casual playthroughs as the two kind of focus on engaging in a transgressive state of play they call memeing around. So to kind of explore this is while the two still engage with the most basic strategies to progress the linear game design, Roomby and Thompson make the horror themed premise into a much more effective comedic experience. This is especially present in how they use the partner command system into a practice of like situational comedy. As you can see in the graphic there, there's this partner system where you can basically talk to your partner through commands, interfacing these voice commands, and so the two kind of span these commands over and over to juxtapose the moments, set up for horror or intense seriousness with a sense of comedy. So, additionally, in this graphic, as you can see there, you can trigger this animation in Resident Evil 6, where your character kind of does this move where they jump on their back in like a John Wick like action kind of set piece, and so they do that all the while, turning this kind of what is supposed to be like an action move into basically a physical bit straight out of a screwball comedy. So this kind of form of like transgressive, playful play illustrates another example of the effective power of the space here. So outside of these like comedic runs, these kind of like performative comedic runs, Lucas Thompson here is another streamer who's kind of creates this effective space. And he does so also by playing through survival horror titles that are not easily accessible. In particular, the example I chose is Capcom's Parasite Eve. It came out originally on the original PlayStation, and it's unfortunately not been ported to any contemporary systems. So even if you have access to like a PlayStation 1, purchasing a copy of this could run you anywhere from $60 to $550. So this is a large issue that kind of runs through the retro gaming market as prices have risen because the physical presence of the game has become a commodity in in a evolving speculation market. So these like streams um, are great just because it allows the audience to watch this game that despite the walls of inaccessibility, and it becomes almost historical footage away, and adds this historical archive of for the lasting affect of these games in general. So then, additionally, here's another graphic of the randomizers he does, which is a an outlet for the Twitch chat to basically create this game place that he'll be streaming through on these various live streams. So to take this a little farther too, in terms of attunement, he does this to engage in a state of play that actually allows the community to inhabit the same gameplay as the streamer as well. This is done through the game at the top there in that first graphic, Resident Evil Outbreak, which is a multiplayer Resident Evil game experience. And so one instance of this, and from this graphic, is from is Christmas Day on 2002, where he live streamed like 5.5 hours of playing through these various case files with different members of the community. So the players themselves got to inhabit the same space as the streamer, and also kind of get in on the transgressive action of memeing around manner sort of play. So just like Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil Outbreak has these command systems. So in this graphic, he's showing how you can spam the different chats. And so as you can see at the bottom there, even the Twitch chat is getting in on some of the jokes that are being made, and flourishing their comments with the great emoticons of the Thurston Waffles cat screaming and cat jam on the right there. So, but of course, positive, experiences are not the only effective occurrences that arise in these digital places. Um, for a metaphor for this, I'd like to kind of invoke Silent Hill 4, The Room, which is a game that kind of serves as a shifting metaphor of how the game place can turn hostile, and not as a positive experience, and more of a negative experience for the community members and the streamer themselves. This place in the game, it's like the diegetic hub world of the game, and it's the only place where the player can go to save the game and restore their health. But as the game progresses, the safe room of the apartment is invaded by specters and monsters that disrupt the familiar place and end up draining the player's health. So this metaphor kind of illustrates how these streams can be disturbed. So this is either through like disruptive viewers who are either doing things like providing game spoilers, which was especially rampant during the release of Last of Us Part Two, which the narrative of the game was released, and so like trolling chatters would come in and basically spew the spoilers out of important narrative moments, kind of ruining the experience before the players could even engage with it. Another way that this kind of experience can be turned disruptive is through this idea of this unwritten rule of backseating. It's like a disruptive action that takes place when a member of the chat is constantly kind of spewing unwarranted or unwanted advice about the game. So an example of this would be like giving the answer to a puzzle right away before the streamer even has a chance to engage with it, or telling the streamer the right way to play. So this is kind of a way that it shows the kind of the fragility of these spaces and the experiences within these game places. Of course, that's not to be said that this negative, part of it also doesn't take away from the positive form of affect that these potential safe rooms invite. Okay, so in conclusion, these selected horror games, streaming places, the potential of the mood lies within the embodiment of the gamic experience. This attunement is formulated by the different outlets of effective power that are attributed to the style and approach of the streamer. These are depicted through the selected, communities, the selected streamers in their communities. So think of like Room B with her stream production and playful approach to walkthroughs. And then, of course, Bakba Soup's like community involvement. So this community of horror Twitch streamers, provide a moon that aims to set you at ease, like the safe room theme from Dino Crisis suggests. They're a place where one can find comfort within these communities that who enjoy horror experiences and the performances of the streamer controlling the gameplay. So thanks.